Yamiche.
Thanks so much, Mr. President. You've said over and over again that immigrants shouldn't come to this country right now. This isn't the time to come. That message is not being received. Instead, the perception of you that got you elected as a moral, decent man is the reason why a lot of immigrants are coming to this country and entrusting you with unaccompanied minors. How do you resolve that tension? And how are you choosing which families can stay and which can go, given the fact that even though with Title 42, there are some families that are staying? And is there a timeline for when we won't be seeing these overcrowded facilities run by CPB when it comes to unaccompanied minors?
Well, look, I guess I should be flattered. People are coming because I'm the nice guy. That's the reason why it's happening. That I'm a decent man, or however it's phrased. That, that's why they're coming, because Biden's a good guy.
That, my friends, is called accountability journalism in the era of Joe Biden. Mr. President, people say you're amazing. I just say you're terrific. And these foreign migrants, they think you're the bee's knees. What do you make of it? I'm not even kidding. It went on at some length that way. Joe Biden's first press conference in over 2 months. There were a few other moments where he seemed to have forgot where he was or what he was saying. Here's a taste of that.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this guy's ready for prime time. Joining us now via Skype is our friend Joel Pollak, senior editor-at-large at Breitbart.com. Joel, what did you make of Joe Biden's first press conference in 2 months?
I have to say it was unimpressive. I don't think that he inspired a lot of confidence in his leadership. He was rambling at times. He went off on tangents. He was brittle, irascible. He doesn't like questions and never has. And he said a lot of things that were simply untrue. He claimed that Trump never stood up to China on human rights, for example, which is complete nonsense. If anything, it's the reverse. Joe Biden was pushing for China's inclusion in the WTO, regardless of its human rights record. He has family business interests in China and all of that. So I don't think it was good on substance. He exceeded expectations only in that expectations for Joe Biden are so low because he really is not fully capable of being president, running the country. So the fact that he could read from his notes and speak in more or less complete sentences, at least some of the time, meant that he surpassed expectations. He didn't have a meltdown on camera, at least not too many of them. There were a couple of hiccups where he lost his train of thought. But I think the most disturbing part was when he said that the media ought to be satisfied with his promise that they could have access to the migrant detention facilities when his policies are in place, when he's satisfied with conditions. In other words, you have to wait for Joe Biden to set up a Potemkin village, and then you can visit the Potemkin village and write about that as if that is what happened on the border. And the media seem okay with this. There was one question about it, but for the most part, we're not seeing any kind of pushback. There's a couple of murmurs from journalists saying this isn't real transparency, but we're not seeing anything like the collective action that the White House press corps frequently took against President Trump when he used a phrase they didn't like, for example. This is the media throwing itself at the feet of the new administration and undermining the public interest, because we really ought to know what's going on at the border facilities, and Biden doesn't want to let us see it. So I think that it was overall a negative performance by Joe Biden. He referred to his opponent as racist, even while claiming that he represents Republicans as well. He even joked, if you can call it a joke, about the end of the Republican Party. This is either a man who's not in full possession of his faculties, or this is a man who is every bit as nasty as he has been at times in his career, without the other qualities he has occasionally shown in his career, the iconoclasm, the willingness to work with people on the other side. He is performing poorly, and I don't think this was an inspiring press conference at all. I think it actually hurt him more than it helped.
That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.